Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, Text number 12. Tameva Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dinavatsalam Goptaram Dharmasetunam Menire Pitaram Prajaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaj was endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and the innocent, and he protected religious principles. With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. Purport. The personal qualities of Dhruva Maharaj described herein are exemplary qualities of a saintly king. Not only a king, but also the leaders of modern democratic or impersonal government must be qualified with all these godly characteristics. Then the citizens of the state can be happy. It is clearly stated here that the citizens thought of Dhruva Maharaj as their father. As a child, depending on the able father, is completely satisfied. So the citizens of the state, being protected by the state or the king, should remain satisfied in every respect. At the present moment, however, there is no guarantee by the government of even the primary necessities of life in the state, namely the protection of the lives and properties of the citizens. One word is very significant in this connection: Brahmanyam. Dhruva Maharaj was very devoted to the Brahmanas, who engage in the study of the Vedas and thereby know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are always busy propagating Krishna consciousness. The state should be very respectful to societies that distribute God consciousness all over the world. But unfortunately, at the present moment, there is no state or government support given to such movements. As for good qualities, it is very difficult to find anyone in the state administration with any good qualities. The administrators simply sit on their administrative posts and say no to every request as if they were paid to say no to the citizens. Another word, Dina Vatsalam, is very significant also. The state head should be very kind to the innocent. Unfortunately, in this age, the state agents and the presidents draw good salaries from the state and they post themselves as very pious, but they allow the running of the slaughterhouses where innocent animals are killed. If you try to compare godly qualities of Dhruva Maharaj to the qualities of modern statesmen, we can see that there is no actual compassion. Dhruva Maharaj was present in Satya Yuga, as will be clear from the next verses. He was ideal king in Satya Yuga. The government administration in the present age is bereft of all good godly qualities. Considering all these points, the people today have no alternative but to take to Krishna consciousness for protection of religion, life and property. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, Dhruva Maharaj, he carried out his duties as a king, as a representative of the Supreme Lord. He was a Krishna conscious king. And in such a kingdom, practically majority of them are devotees. So devotees are non-devotees. As a king, his prime duty was to give protection to the citizens. The king's duty to give protection to the citizens means he should provide all support, facility, and protection against anybody who disturbs his dharmic life. The purpose of human life is to make progress in his spiritual consciousness. To evolve spiritually is the purpose of human life. Everybody is born in a human body. And if he uses all the facilities in the human body, then in the journey of life from birth to death, his consciousness would have elevated from lower gunas to higher gunas, Taboguna to Rajoguna to Sattoguna. This is called the Pravritti Marga. As we discussed in the previous purport, Krishna or God has allowed all living entities to have all kinds of choices of existence. So material world also is one of the choices. To live in false egoism of being the Lord of everything that they survey, being independent, self-made, self-earned, self-protected, self-cared, whereas the original soul's life is Krishna cared, Krishna protected, Krishna provided. So there is an opportunity. This material world, we as devotees should see this material world also the property of Krishna and the arrangement of Krishna, scheme of Krishna, recognizing the living entity's free will, which is so important. Krishna considers our free will so important, so you can imagine, if you take that as a value, how much we should be valuing our free will. Instead of frittering away without care, applying our free will without intelligence, applying our free will contrary to the principles of dharma, the principles of Krishna conscious living. It is sheer abuse of one of the most powerful thing in existence, even of the jiva, which is this free will. So anyway, coming back to how the Vaishnavas see the material world, they see this also as Krishna's kingdom, but it is under the jurisdiction of Maya, because most of the people have false egoism of being independent existence and enjoyer. Therefore, Krishna does not deal directly with them. So Krishna deals through the laws of karma, kala and guna. So a king's duty is to give opportunity, equal opportunity for all living entities to move up in their spiritual life. He has to provide occupation for everyone, and for carrying out their occupation, he has to give all support, and all protection has to be given by him. And Dhruva Maharaj is ideal king, and it is glorified that every citizen was very peaceful, and every citizen felt like how a father cares for the child. They felt that kind of a care from Dhruva Maharaj. This is a Kshatriya's duty. Contrary to that, Srila Prabhupada is comparing the modern civilization modern administrators of modern civilization. They're all fallen because they do not know the very purpose of sitting in the seat as administrators. Unless the underlying principle of himself understanding the purpose of his life, how he will understand the purpose of every living entity's life? That the purpose, God's purpose is in the human form of life is I should govern in such a way that everyone is encouraged to take up spiritual life. And here Prabhupada says, this slow process of pravritti marg today has failed. Today it has crumbled. There is no varnashrama. The last sentence here Prabhupada says, considering all these points, the people today have no alternative but to take to Krishna consciousness for protection of religion, life and property. It's a very interesting thing. In Kali Yuga, normally this kind of people get stuck in pravritti marg. Now the pravritti marg has failed, the people have no peace and prosperity. So they have to, if they want peace and prosperity, the only way is Sankirtana, the only way is to turn towards Krishna consciousness movement. So what the material world normally has to deliver, material peace and all those things, that is gone. That's not there. So therefore, people coming to Krishna consciousness is a great opportunity in Kali Yuga for living entities to take a shortcut and take this Nivritti Marg. Nivritti Marg means direct Krishna consciousness. Pravritti Marg is indirect Krishna consciousness. But Pravritti Marg also, there is God-centered and there is also Karma Khanda-centered. The people who don't believe in God but believe in karma. All kinds of Pravritti Marg is there in practiced even in a Vedic civilization. The people who do not recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they also follow the Vedic injunctions, all for punya and avoid papa. Like great Ravana, the great Hiranyakashipu, materially they were so great and powerful, not in terms of the powers like the modern rich people. They were powerful in the sense of they were performing a lot of pious activities, and their power came from, their subtle power came from the tapasya that they performed. So even that, you see, so much tapasya they perform, is not directly connected to Krishna consciousness. So the world has to be seen in three different categories. One is, if you see, those who want to follow the scriptures and slowly evolve in Krishna consciousness, they are called as, religious karmis. Then there are people who want directly Krishna consciousness, they are transcendentalist, like us. Then there are human beings who are vikarmis. Vikarmis means just do karma without any reference to dharma. Almost close to animals. Animals means immediate gratification, whatever. So you can see the modern civilization, most of them are in the category of vikarmis. And therefore it brings so much bad reaction to the society, and the suffering increases more and more. Even material laws they are breaking. There is a law of karma which gives good life in this material world. That itself they are breaking. Like, unnecessary, setting up slaughterhouses, killing animals, and exploiting the earth. All these things will create a reaction on the population, total population. So it's only Krishna consciousness philosophy that can give an exact explanation why pandemic comes, why war happens, why there is no peace in, there is economic progress but there is no peace. We say once we have something, when we don't have economic progress, we think we should progress. So India is definitely progressing economically. But if we do not push Krishna consciousness into the society, therefore the government also should support such societies, as Prabhupada is saying, that infuses God consciousness into the society along with material prosperity. Otherwise, material prosperity without dharmic education, it is bound to create more harm to the population. Probably people are more happy without so-called prosperity of modern world when they were in simple village life, growing their own food. Of course, we cannot compare the village life of now with the city life now, because village life now is also as bad as city life. So really they are just two set of people. One is having money, other does not have money, but both don't have dharma. So very horribly is suffering the villagers. So when we say village life, everybody gets village life. What is village life? But real village life is there. They do little farming and most of their time they spent in Harikatha. This was a tradition in India. What else they will do? There is no technology, there is no cinemas, there is no all these kind of, there are no diversions at all. So man is so, he does his cultivation, everything. What he will do evening? Harikatha. It used to be there in different forms, not only in this state, in all the states, it was there. Even in my childhood, it was there, interestingly. Every day, every Ram temple has Harikatha in the evening. Whether 5 people sit or 10 people sit. Harikatha. And there are different performing art forms for Harikatha. Singing, speaking, then speaking. All this tradition we don't hear at all. It was very normal in those days. In my childhood days in Bangalore, it was very normal. Harikatha. Every corner it used to happen. Especially the ladies used to go in the evening and sit. Almost, my childhood, Bangalore was almost like a village. Only Rajajinagar and Malleshwaram was there. Huh? And now there is everywhere mall. So things are, we can see that if Krishna consciousness does not parallelly grow in this country, we will be nothing but a repeat of America. Whatever happened there, it will happen here with a time lag. How people have no peace, in the same way, here also people have no peace in spite of, per capita income is increasing, everything, GDP is increasing, but the happiness index of everybody comes down. So what did we achieve by such progress? So all these things, unless the humanity is guided by dharmic principles. Here the word used is Shila Sampannam. Shila means godly qualities. Shila also means habits, good habits, good culture. So in the society, culture is learned by every individual, in the family and in the school. These are two places where a child, as he grows, he develops his habits or culture. So let us see what happens in today's schools. Absolutely nothing is taught about culture. They only taught the information-packed education. The earlier days, even less than 50, 60 years back, even the parents used to culture so much, in the children that they should respect the teacher, guru. So they go to the school, the teachers have to be respected. If you disrespect teacher, parents also will be upset. This culture. So they know how to respect anybody who teaches. You get vidya from somebody, you have to respect them. Elders have to be respected. Family culture is to be there. Families were together. There is to be joint families. So there is so much of socializing that the child develops emotional intelligence to deal with the world even more maturely. Especially children grown, one child or two child for a parent, you will see most of them, they don't have that emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the intelligence by which you handle different people's emotions in the community respectfully. You learn how to get along with everybody. You know how to cooperate. So that is, just see, 95% of the family is a nuclear family today. Only one child or two maximum. These are all very, very damaging to the civilization as such. The individuals will not learn that necessity is the mother of invention. When there is a joint family, there are uncles and cousins and so many families, they stay together or nearby and they are all interrelated. Now a child does not have to bother at all. He doesn't know anybody, anything. The neighbor doesn't know anything about his neighbor. They are all in their own world. So just see how much a child is exposed. Go to the school, and school is all information packed. Time spent is only on getting information, not on culture. Or something about sports, maximum. But culture is not there. Sports is there. Culture is not there. And then he comes home, he sees father, mother. And he sees father, mother, most of the father, mother are fighting. They are fighting with each other. They see that. And they also develop that kind of shilas or habits. Disturbed family. So as devotees, from the perspective of even what a good, prosperous, karmi life is, material world should be, with little Krishna consciousness. That also is not there now. So we have, why is it, somebody will ask, why is it that you ask people to take to Krishna consciousness, sometimes at the cost of their unfavorable circumstances, give up those unfavorable circumstances, which may be your so-called duty, like youngsters, join Krishna consciousness movement, leaving the home, parents. If it was a normal worldly civilization, there was no need for this. In a normal situation, only people who reach sannyas stage, they take this. Come and join in the ashram. Otherwise, in the normal state, brahmacharis go back. They know full dedicated, life dedicated. So why the life dedicated concept is there? If I tell the brahmacharis, now you go out, 5 years over, they'll say, I don't want to go out. Because they see it is not favorable at all outside. I cultivated brahmacharya, I cultivated the knowledge of scriptures, everything, but I can't go there and be there. Even one day I cannot be there. It's a very miserable state of human population in Kali Yuga. But the plus point is, this will push them to, like all of us, has pushed up into Krishna consciousness. Why? Because we wanted peace, we wanted happiness, we wanted answers in life. Nothing we got there. Nobody gave us the answers. Nobody gave us a path by which there is meaning in life. Then Prabhupada gave us meaning in life. Prabhupada gave us the path of real spiritual progress, path of liberation from suffering from this material world. He showed us the scheme of the creation as per the scriptures. And in this way we understood a very wonderful world view of existence. Material world, spiritual world, life in this body, why birth, why death, what is karma, everything. None of these things are known to people in the outside world. So preaching Krishna consciousness, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Yara dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Yesterday Prabhupada was talking in that lecture. Krishna gave instruction, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Same instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying by saying, Yara dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. What is Krishna upadesha? Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Nobody is doing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, now my order is all of you go and preach. They say the best way to learn something is by teaching. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is employed that. You tell people to surrender, you will also surrender. Just like we also tell people to surrender. After we telling them to surrender, then we think, okay, I should also surrender here. You will give a lecture, no sense gratification. Lecture is over, then you will start thinking, how I'll stop my sense gratification. Yeah? So, Dhruva Maharaj's godly qualities is being appreciated here as a Kshatriya. This kind of ideal world we can't have now in Kali Yuga. But we can have this kind of a world, a small world. Each temple is a small world like this. Each world, devotee community has to have a Kshatriya. Temple president is a Kshatriya actually, Kshatriya's job. There used to be earlier one kind of Kshatriyas called Raja Rishis. That they have Kshatriya qualities, but they were Rishis. They had full transcendental knowledge of what should be done, what should not be done. If you take an organization in the material world, whether it is preaching organization or otherwise, requires organization, money, manpower, management, everything is required. So these are not mundane. For a Krishna conscious preaching movement, Prabhupada never separated these as different from chanting Hare Krishna. Why? Because here, the goal of everybody, each one of them you ask, what is your goal? They will not have any other goal than to say that ultimately Krishna consciousness or back to Godhead. If you find somebody saying that, no, I don't think I want to be Krishna conscious, you will not find anybody like that in this community. Correct? If he changes his mind, then he will leave soon. So Krishna consciousness is the goal of, when the Krishna consciousness is the goal in the community, and then it is called Daiva Varnashrama. Within that, somebody who is capable of managing, protecting, being Kshatriya. Kshatriya sometimes have to be very strong also. Suppose one devotee is hurting the other devotee, he is bullying everybody. Suppose there is in schools there are bullies, no? In schools, in college, in our class, there are bullies. One fellow will bully everybody. He may be physically strong, bullying everybody. So similarly, if there are some devotees due to their old anartha of bullying, then the temple president, temple commander, they have to, administrators, they have to control. You cannot disturb others, you cannot bully others. Just take care of yourself. You cannot disturb others. Others, they have to take care of their... It may be very small thing. Maybe bullying by habitually going and, stealing somebody's gamcha in the ashram. Then somebody will say, Arey, what is this? Why you are so heavy, Prabhu? Yeah, I'll ask the temple commander, why you are so heavy? These are all material things, no? You should only preach to us. First preaching is, don't disturb others. Goes on doing it, what will you do? Kshatriya's next goal is what? What is Kshatriya? Punishment. But Kshatriya has power. Management has power, Kshatriya has power. It is meant for using at the right place. So what is this in a community, so harsh the president is? No, it depends. He has to balance between compassion and harshness. Harshness, you cannot say it is not there. It will be there. But those who break the rules, they only will feel harshness. So if this kind of administration is not there, or people are envious, one after the other, and envy will lead to some action of disturbing, has to be controlled. So Kshatriya, if there is a strong king, then everybody will feel very secure and protected. I can practice Krishna consciousness here. I will not get exploited. I will not get disturbed by anybody else. If it is not there, people's nature is that. If there is no administration, then it is called might is right. Whoever is a powerful, he will get everything. In any group, if there is no management, there is no Kshatriya, the strong will rule. The weak and the innocent will not get protection. So Kshatriya has to give protection to weak and the innocent. The strong should not exploit the weak and the innocent. So all these things are explained here by Prabhupada, he was very kind to poor and the innocent, and he protected religious principles. So these things, instructions are very much valuable, even though it is about normal kingdom of karmis and devotees and all that thing. These principles are very important for us to learn from Bhagavatam, to be applied in a Daiva Varnashrama system, divine Varnashrama system. We all have different occupational capacities and occupational this thing, but everybody should have a right to practice their Krishna conscious life. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. devotees from different backgrounds without developing emotional intelligence or social intelligence, when they join the ashram, some of them feel very suffocated or some kind of a culture shock is there. They are not able to mingle or reveal. So how does one deal with such?
Because they are chanting Hare Krishna, very soon they will learn. From a family of 3, they come to a family of 100. So slowly they will adjust. And then they will, for some time they may be isolated. If I cannot deal with everybody, then better I watch and I learn. And in sadhu sangha, you learn very fast. In association, you learn very fast. This is a very important thing. Learning gets accelerated in the association of devotees. That, the number of, like I said, your family was 3, you knew 3 persons and your family was 3 or 4 or 5, a few friends. But now you come here, suddenly you come to 100. Then the 100 will influence. The more the number is better. This is the nature of man. He is a social being. So when he comes and falls in an ashram of 150 devotees, then in a question of 2-3 years, he will completely become one of us. Till then, there will be a little disturbance for him also. Because it's a disruption in his social world, what he had. So we have to guide, as authorities, we have to guide them slowly. And we have to be patient, we have to be tolerant, we have to be compassionate, we have to accept their mistakes, preach to them. You should not expect that overnight they will be emotionally mature. And the devotee, because he is sincere in becoming a sincere disciple of Prabhupada, he will also, that sincerity also counts. If there is no sincerity, then he will be also impatient. What is this? Lot of disturbing life this is. Lot of restrictions, lot of this, all kinds of things in your mind it will come. But after 3-4 years, you don't feel that. You feel all these restrictions are principles of freedom, regulative principles of freedom. It's giving me spiritual freedom from my mind. And by mental speculation, I'm getting freedom. It requires a little long-term sattvic thinking to understand how disciplining helps. Rather than disciplining is not restricting my freedom. It delivers me freedom. Discipline delivers freedom to me. That paradigm should change. That understanding of discipline, value for discipline, value for tapasya, value for austerity, value for discomfort, all these things will rise up when a person, his goal to become a devotee will drive him through this process of transformation. So, as Kshatriyas in community management, we have to balance between compassion and strictness. Rules will be broken. No doubt, rules are meant to be guidelines. And sometimes that will go off the guideline. Then we have to bring back the devotee, preach to them. That is the reason everybody has some job to do. Temple commanders have to be there. If there is a temple with only 5 devotees, all right, you can manage. No need of temple commander. Temple president can manage. But when number of devotees increase, then all these things they are required. Their duty. Somebody with that duty has to be there to. It's an essential duty. Otherwise, there won't be harmony in the community. Somebody has to take care of these kind of, whether discipline is being followed, when it is not followed, how to preach to them, why it should be followed, and how take the devotee through this curve of learning. Okay.
Harisha Prabhu, just trying to focus on the last sentence in the purport. The Vedic education is about respecting the seniors and those who give the information as required by the constituent, the receiver of the knowledge. So, entire Vedic system of education is around that.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the modern system is information is freely available. Education is, the person who wants to educate or wants to learn, both know that information is freely available, and thus there is no much respect. So, under these circumstances, how does consciousness play a role of, where, because consciousness requires that, somebody sees that even though I may know, but I am not practicing it.
Even though?
Even though I may know some information, but I am not practicing it.
Yeah. You're not acting.
We are not acting it. So how does, how can this be solved in the current context?
Of course, the way the world is going, out of necessity, out of emotional necessity of man, they themselves are realizing that digital life is not possible. Not possible. Initially, there is great excitement. Everything digital. So more digital means less human interaction. That's a problem. So if we can ensure that certain social structures where there is human people-to-people interaction are protected or are created, then digital will help. Mechanization should serve the society, social relationship. Should not be the other way around. So, material world will, like water finds its own level. These things keep, so much of different kind of social dynamics. But all these things will not. Now, our point is, this is also bad, that is also bad. Everything is, like Prabhupada says, wet stool, dry stool, all are stool. In the same way, it's a mess. They give a solution for a problem in the material world. That is another problem. Every solution to a problem in the material world, which is not based on dharma, is another problem. So they are just running from problem to problem to problem. Like world pollution is like that, problem to problem to problem. In 1900s, there was an article in Scientific American. Big discovery for transportation. No more horseless. No, it was called horseless carriage. So there were no cars. Automobile was not there. So horseless carriage. Scientific American is very interesting. If you see old issues, you see how the science has evolved. So big news, horseless carriage. That is motor car. And one of the main positive features of the horseless carriage was what? There will not be any more horse dung pollution. In the horse cart, the biggest problem was, as the horse is pulling, suddenly all over the road it will put dung. And that's very smelly. Horse's dung. Not like gobar. So, the society then had a problem about the pollution from hot dung. And they thought, how short-sighted is man? They thought the solution is now horseless carriage, motor car. But today that is the biggest pollution. It is affecting the entire humanity. So like that, every solution has to be based on Vedic direction. Even material solution has to be based on that. That's not there. So that's why Prabhupada said, don't try to change the world now. Don't try to change the world now. You cannot change the world. Chant Hare Krishna. Sankirtana. Perform Sankirtana. Teach people how to perform Sankirtana. Let them come to Krishna consciousness. Be where you are. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, no. Be where you are and chant Hare Krishna. So the same thing for everybody's instruction. The Kali Yuga is, don't change there, be where you are and add Hare Krishna. This is the best thing we can tell them. Of course, those who are blessed, they can change also. Like us. We were not there. We refused to be there. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are at home, stay at home and practice Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, no, if you are fired up about Krishna consciousness, join. So these principles require acharyas to implement these directions of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, how it is applicable to modern times. You need an acharya. So it is system created by acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise there won't be movement like this, youngsters joining. It's not that we have become pure devotees, so we have dedicated 100 times. 100%. No. We are all sadhakas. We are practicing surrender. To practice surrender, we have surrendered from the family. Everybody came and we are practicing. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Recently we find, like Dhruv Maharaj was a good king, we find some changes in our country, Prabhu. Like Defense Minister Rajnath Singh came, 1 lakh Bhagavad Gita we will distribute. NCERT is saying 7th and 8th syllabus, Bhagavad Gita is introduced.
Yeah.
So right now we are in a golden period, na Prabhu, where we are getting support for all our Bhagavad Gita, this Sing, Dance and Pray with various governors all over India, it has been launched. So we are in a positive frame where the government is supporting us, right?
Yeah, India is the only hope. Indians are the only hope for the world. Because as you rightly said, so much favorable, so many things we can do to build Krishna consciousness. You can build temples, you go, people give donation. What a facility, what a country we are today, the potential to do. That's why if you see a lot of congregation, they take up chanting. They're seeing their change in their life.
Yes, Prabhu.
The change, you are one.
Yes, Prabhu. Changed. Life is transformed.
So much change in life. You are situated wherever you were. You are still working, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
And you are seeing so much difference, day and night difference in life.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, to make devotees, field is very, very, very green. To spread Krishna consciousness also is a very ripe time. So it's in a way it is a golden period for us. We are already experiencing golden period. We preachers are experiencing golden period.
Yes, Prabhu. Akshay Patra is also exploding.
It is not like preaching in Russia and all. It's all very difficult there. Or Europe, anywhere. That kind of a revolutionary impact only an empowered acharya like Srila Prabhupada could do. It's unbelievable what Prabhupada did. There's no cultural background, there's no, Vedic, any connection with Vedic culture. Such kind of places he went there and he gave directly Krishna consciousness, chant and dance.
And just regarding four regulative principles, Prabhu, they are freedom from the birth. They give freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Four regulative principles.
Yes.
This is a higher freedom. Where I am struggling in Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, I get into another body which will be in Golok Vrindavan. So I will be free from all this, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, tell me. So there is a nice quote, I am looking for that. Where Prabhupada said, I know when somebody, that how there are no front leaders, so I have put many people, just be in the front, he become leader. And in the end he says, most of you will fall down. But war has to be, I have declared war with Maya, Prabhupada says. But it needs people, front leaders. So every third man you take and make him a leader. That quote is there. Maybe it's circulating today, some of you would have got. So, see, Prabhupada, what he did is something you cannot so easily understand. You have to see the dynamics. He compromised certain things, and if he was handling we should think always that he is still leading the Krishna consciousness movement. According to different times. Today's times, what is it? We have to move according to those times. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.